What I'm asking you about is stuff that you have written, sir.
You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Is this still your belief?
Pete DeFazio voted for higher taxes. Pete DeFazio voted for more regulation of Oregonians. Pete DeFazio has cut off Oregonians from the use of their forests and their fisheries. Pete DeFazio voted for the medical care bill after he promised his
you would like to replace him in office. I would love to ask you about your stated views.
To buy American while he was shipping his own personal assets abroad.
Mr.
You don't
Robinson?
want to talk about any of that. Those are the issues in this campaign.
I have interviewed Pete DeFazio in the past. Now I'm trying to interview you about your stated beliefs.
That you can talk about this 15 years later.
Wait.
Look,
see, here's the thing. I've already interviewed Pete DeFazio about his positions.
Why don't you talk about the political issues in this campaign?
Why don't I'm trying to get to know you.
15 years ago, part of the issues of the campaign? No, it's not.
You would like to unseat Pete DeFazio in Congress.
It's fun to argue with you on your own show, but you really ought to settle down and talk about at least one single substantive issue from this campaign. Why don't you try
trying to get to know you as a candidate. I've interviewed Mr. DeFazio already.
No, you're not. You're trying to smear me.
I'm asking you about things that you've written that are in the public record.
Yes, you are, madam.
Do you deny that this is stuff that you've written? Any of the things that I've quoted from you, do you no longer believe these things?
This is 15 years ago.
Do you no longer believe things that you believed 15 years ago? Have you changed your mind?
What you said.
Well, let me ask you about what you said. And then you can tell me whether or not you agree with it anymore.
You're representing that I wrote something 15 years ago, and I don't even have the documents in front of me. This is a smear campaign.
It's not a smear.
Stop smearing me and talk about a single issue in this campaign. You're afraid to talk about the issues because your candidate is wrong on every one of the issues.
If it were possible to smear a person by quoting to him things that he has published in his own newsletter that he edits, then I don't know how you define a smear campaign for normal human interaction. I'm quoting to you about stuff that you said.
15 years ago. I've written thousands and thousands of pages.
A lot of which have really crazy statements on them, a lot of which I'd love to ask you about.
You want to talk about that instead of the issues in this campaign.
Let me ask you about hormesis.
You're throwing mud, and I'll tell you something.
Can I ask you about hormesis?
Sticking to you. Every one of your viewers knows exactly what you are, madam.
You are hormesis.
They know that you have a political contest here between two candidates, and instead of discussing the issues, you're going over the thousands of pages of stuff this guy's written.
To try to figure out who you are.
You're picking something 15 years ago, and you're quoting it to him in a context where he can't even check the quotes.
Let's talk about hormesis.
That is not honest journalism.
Well, let me ask.
That is what you do. It's an entertainment, perhaps, but it's not journalism.
Let's talk about hormesis. So hormesis is your belief that low-level
hormesis is a complicated scientific issue.
Well, help me understand it.
Help me understand it. I don't think you're capable of understanding it.
That's patronizing and charming, but I would love to get you to expand on it. Hormesis is your idea that low-level radiation is good for us, right? Now, I realize that you're also an advocate for expanded nuclear weapons testing in the United States. Is that because you think it would be beneficial to up the background radiation levels in the United States because that radiation would be good for us? When the American Spectator wrote an article on you in 2001,
that's an outright lie. That is an outright lie.
I'm asking you a question.
You can't even find an out-of-context quote to support that one.
Here, wait, let me ask you a question.
Would you like me to answer on hormesis or on nuclear testing, which has been settled a long time ago?
So hormesis.
You wanted me to answer on hormesis?
Yeah. Is hormesis vaguely, for laymen, for stupid people like me who don't understand your complicated ideas, is it the idea that background radiation levels at some levels are helpful for human health? Is that the idea, the basic idea?
We live in a sea of I got about half the sentence out before you started on the sarcasm again. Hormesis is the study of the effects of low-level radiation on human health.
And is it the basic idea that it's good for you?
I can't even get out a sentence. Here we go again. You asked me to explain something, you interrupt with more sarcasm. What are we going to do with you?
I'm not being sarcastic. I am quite literally asking you a question.
You are. You interrupted me in the second sentence. I don't see any reason I've taught thousands of students at the university, but I'll tell you, I don't think I could teach you because you interrupt the first sentence that the instructor gets out of his mouth.
Have you ever done a satellite interview before?
Have I ever done what?
A satellite interview before? A TV satellite interview?
I guess I actually think I have, yes, but not very often because I don't often do these things. I'm running for political office for the first time. I'm not a politician, I'm a scientist, a very good one, and I'm sure you've checked it out and found that to be true, but you're going to smear my reputation anyway.
One of the things that happens in satellite interviews is that there's about a 1.5 second delay between me asking a question and you hearing it. So you can interpret that as sarcasm or interruption, but it's actually just the way the medium works. I'm sorry it's been so awkward for you.
No. Your interruption was not caused by the delay. That's just the speed of light, madam. It's much faster than that.
I've enjoyed the speed of light conversation, but I would love to get an answer from you on one question before we go.
You asked one on hormesis. You want to listen to the answer?
If every time I try to clarify what I'm asking you or what you're saying, you're going to call me sarcastic because I don't think you understand what sarcasm means, then no. So let me try to get an answer to an earlier question.
When you
We're just going to
ask a question and give me time to answer it. We'll play the game.
Do you get the speed of light thing not happening here? All right, here's the AIDS question. You posited in print, in your own publications, there was no editor, you weren't taken out of context, that AIDS was a government conspiracy, that it wasn't real, that the government was misclassifying.
That. I never, ever in my life made a statement like that. You are lying. I never made a statement like that, and I know it. You are lying. The statement you just made is an outright lie. Quoting from
Mr. Robinson's newsletter. Quote,
No way. You are lying.
Look, it's on the screen.
I've never in my life written that statement.
Only government reclassification of more and more disease types as AIDS cases has kept the number of victims at politically necessary levels. You wrote it. I'm quoting it. Do you no longer believe it?
No, you don't. Madam, I'm not going to discuss what happened to hormesis. We were in that 15 years ago in a large discussion of many things. You go right ahead. I can't even check your quotes, and I don't trust you, so I'm not even going to answer your question.
They're your own quotes, but if you want me to send you your own newsletter and back issues, I will.
Madam.
Yeah.
Mr.
Robinson.
Why don't you read everything that was written about it, madam?
Oh my God, I've read so much of your stuff, I can't even tell you. I
bet you have.
There's a reason why I look glazed over today. It's because of reading your conspiracy theories that radiation at low levels is good for us, that nuclear weapons testing should be upped, that AIDS is a government conspiracy, and that public education should be abolished. So I have enjoyed learning about you. You haven't shed any light on yourself on this program, but I've learned a lot about your temperament, at least, and your lack of understanding of what the word sarcasm means.
And I've learned a lot
interesting theories about the speed of light.
Stop lying, tell the truth, consider the issues, and you might be considered a political analyst.
A man who denies that his own words are his own and then accuses me of lying about them. Republican congressional candidate Art Robinson, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll be right back.